Good damn morning, Americans. Jericho Green here with you once again. Check this out. Studies show our appearance directly affects our mental health. Many anti-aging supplements found on store shelves try to capitalize on that. Most of them fall short. This is because they fail at targeting the root of the problem. This is why I highly recommend Health with Jericho. This amazing collagen quickly restores youthfulness to your skin. It helps combat wrinkles and does so much better than anything else I've ever tried. Imagine how good your skin could look this summer with it. If you've been looking for a great way to look and feel your best, you'll love Health with Jericho. Get up to 51% off for the next 24 hours by going to healthwithjericho.com or by visiting the link below. Man, now, we've been trained, we've been taught our whole life that Christmas comes in December. And wrong. This year, 2022 is so fucked up that Christmas doesn't even come at the right time. That's how bad this year is. Now, wait a minute. Before I get to this juicy morsel that has been placed before me on a silver platter, tonight, March 11th, 7:30 Pacific Standard Time, I'm going live. We're going to be talking about all this crazy shit and then some. Whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want to ask, I will be there. 7:30 Pacific Standard Time tonight on YouTube. Be there or be in the wrong damn place. So, yesterday, Jussie Smollett, whatever you want to call his ass. But after yesterday, you can call him incarcerated. That's right. He was finally sentenced. And shout out to the judge. I got a link in the description box to the video of him reading his sentence, giving him his sentence, handing down his sentence, and then what he said before. Also, I'm going to put a link in the description box to a video I did 3 years ago, which was the morning after this happened, because it allegedly, actually, we don't have to say that no more. That fool's been convicted. The bullshit took place at 2 o'clock in the morning. So that following morning is when I do the video, when I'm on my way to work. It's probably 5:30 in the morning, but it's right after this happened. So it's interesting to see what I thought was going to happen versus what did happen. So I'll have that link in there as well. So yesterday, the sentence was handed down. Shout out to the judge. And I got some notes here because I did not want to miss all these delectable little bits that we got yesterday. So the judge, he didn't just say, Jussie Smollett, you will be remanded to blah, blah, blah. You'll have to pay fines. No, he gave Jussie Smollett the business. He gave Jussie Smollett a nice, neat, intellectual package of what we've all been thinking, what we've all been saying since this dumb shit started 3 years ago. The judge is telling him that you have embarrassed your family. You've embarrassed the people in high places who vouched for you, who put their neck on the line, who believed you. Now, let's be honest. Who the fuck believed that fool? Nobody. But all you blue checkmark dumbasses, all you powerful people, the Clintons and the Obamas, he was connected to them all because he was draped in 2 layers of victimhood. He's of the right color. He's lower on the color chart than the midpoint. He's darker than a shade of office paper. And he's part of the LGBT alphabet soup group. Can't touch him, okay? So he has all these powerful people in high places. He told him, you've embarrassed them all. You've embarrassed your family. You strayed from your family values. You are toxic. He said, people can't work with you. You've ruined your career. You lied. You did all of this for attention. He gave his ass the business, and Jussie sat right there in silence. So, before I get to what he said after he was sentenced, which is the best part, okay? This is like a pie. This is the crust to the pie. If the crust ain't good, it doesn't matter what you fill it with. If you have a really good crust, you can fill it with cat shit, and I'll take a slice, Okay? So the way he acted after he was sentenced is the crust to this beautiful, delicious justice pie. Okay. Before I get to that, so before the sentencing took place, there were some celebrities who chimed in and were asking for, not only were they asking for leniency, they were asking for no jail time. They said, please don't send him to jail. He doesn't deserve that. Okay? And amongst those people, which surprised me and made me a little bit sad inside, was Samuel L. Jackson. That's right, Mr. Samuel L. Jackson himself, Mr. Insert movie here, because it seems like he's been in them all. What was his name? Julius in Pulp Fiction? Well, the real life Samuel L. Jackson apparently is nothing like that character, because he was 100% bitch yesterday. Asking for no jail time. Please be lenient on him. No jail time, please. Have you been watching? Do you have a different television, Samuel L. Jackson? Do you have a different cell phone from everybody else in the world with fully functioning eyeballs? You knew from the first minute this shit hit the airwaves that it was bullshit. You knew that he was lying. Let's go back a little bit to that fateful day 3 years ago in January in Chicago. If there's one place I do not want to be, it's Chicago in January. Okay? I'm sorry, Chicagoans. Nothing personal. It's just business. That is too damn cold for my thin California blood. Sorry. So, this night, 3 years ago, not only was it Chicago in January, it was a polar vortex. It was a blizzard. It was minus 21 degrees, okay? Like I said, I'll put a link in the description box if you want a more detailed account of what happened. I'll give you the synopsis, the quick version. So he arrives back from traveling. He gets back home around 2 o'clock in the morning. He says, I am hungry. So he decides to go to Subway, not a restaurant inside of a Subway, not some delicious mom and pop's sandwich shop, pizza slice down in the Subway. No, Subway sandwiches. Yes, the mediocre bullshit Subway sandwich. But it's apparently the one in his neighborhood is so good he has to brave a polar vortex at 2 o'clock in the morning to get this sandwich. I guess the plane he was on didn't have food, or the airport that he walked through didn't have any food. So he goes down to Subway at 2 o'clock in the morning. On his way back, he got his sandwich, okay? On his way back, he's accosted by 2 white males wearing MAGA hats. They beat him, pour bleach on him, put a noose around his neck, and then run off into the frozen night saying, this is MAGA country. That's what he said. He left the rope around his neck. When the police showed up, you can see on the cop's body cam that he has the rope around his neck. Now, if you have some brakes, pump them because we need to stop. It wasn't a rope. You ever have blinds in your house? Or maybe you have some now. Maybe you have shoelaces in your shoes. Look at those blinds or look down at your feet. That is the size of the rope that was around his neck. String. So, of course, 99% of the country is saying, man, you're full of shit the next day. So, fast forward, turns out he is full of shit. And a very short amount of time because they had the FBI working on this and 12 Chicago police officers, detectives on this case. So in a short amount of time, they find these 2 African brothers. You heard it right. He blamed it on 2 white guys, but in reality, he got 2 Africans. You could not be farther on the scale. You couldn't be more polar opposites than a racist white guy and an African. So turns out, these 2 guys, one of them he may or may not have been sexually involved with, they hatched this plan. They even rehearsed it. There's footage of them going through a dry run. That's where your acting is hurting you, okay? Your rehearsal. So it's full of shit. He gets convicted, and then it brings us to yesterday. Oh, shit. So this is what he got. 150 days in jail, and it's questionable whether he'll do all of that because he has money. He has the only color that matters, green. So he gets 150 days in jail, $120,000 in restitution to the city, a $25,000 fine, and 30 months of felony probation. Now, the thing I like about this most is the restitution to the city. You have to pay back the money that they wasted solving your case and investigating your case. Now, unfortunately, these officers can't get back, and these detectives and shit, they can't get back their time. Who knows how many calls were made to their children and or their wives or their husbands or whoever, their loved ones, their family, the people they were supposed to be with, but we can't because we got to stay late and crack this case about some bullshit so we are not called, that's right, you know the word, you love it, racist, okay? So they had to spend all that time, all that extra time, overtime, and you'll see in the video that I made the day after, we got the Federal Bureau of Investigation involved in this shit. That's how sick we are with this America's racist bullshit. So that's what he got. Now his grandmother, now I guess it's because he's mixed. He's half Jewish, half black, and his grandmother got it there was saying, I don't know if she was actually in the court, but she's quoted as saying, "Don't send him to prison. Please don't send him to prison. If you do, send me with him too." Grandma, sit your ass down and shut up. Are you crazy? You would want to go to jail with this fool? Not in the same prison, but you would want to serve time along with him? What is wrong with you? Are you the one that did this to him? Are you the one that made him this stupid and this arrogant and this self-absorbed? Probably. You were probably telling him how beautiful and how perfect he is and he could never do anything wrong. Well, this is what happens, Grandma. Maybe your ass should go to jail with him because you probably had a hand in this. You always made sure he got the biggest matzo ball. What is that, velvet? He beat Joe Louis's ass. Grandma, shut your ass up. So his grandma saying, "Oh, Lord, send me to prison with my baby. Grant her wish." So all that shit's happening. And, oh, his brother got up there was saying, "Please don't send him to prison because he's black and because he's gay and because he's Jewish. So these are going to be problems for him in prison, I guess. He's going to be unsafe because he's black and he's gay and he's Jewish." I didn't know Jewish people had it like that in prison. How many Jewish people are in prison, dummy? You probably had a hand in him becoming such an idiot too. You go in there with him. You can watch his back against all the black folks, gay-hating, Jew-hating prisoners. Since you're so worried, get your ass in there with your stupid-ass brother. And then, before I get into his outburst, the mask theater that was taking place. The judge didn't have a mask on. A bunch of people in the courtroom did have masks on. Jussie had a mask on, but then he took it down to talk and say a bunch of crazy shit. And then he put it back on and then he pulled it down under his nose and was talking through his mask. Stop with the bullshit. Oh, speaking of stupid mask mandates, today is the 11th, and today my kids were allowed to go to school without a mask. Thank you, oh exalted one, Governor Gavin Bang Your Wife Newsom. I'm going to talk about that. Let me write that shit down. We're going to talk about that on the live tonight, too. Bullshit. Mask mandate lifted in Cali. Yeah, make sure we talk about that shit, too. Anyway, so now to Jussie's meltdown. So the judge gives him the business, and you will see it in the video, in the link in the description box. He tears his ass up. And so Jussie says, the first thing he says is, "I am not suicidal." I am not suicidal. I am not suicidal. And his lawyer is like touching his arm like, hey man, chill the fuck out. I'm not suicidal. He stands up. If something happens to me while I'm in there, I did not do it to myself. You all need to know this. I am not suicidal. Who the fuck was saying Jussie was suicidal? What? You think you're on Epstein's level? Do you plan on giving some names to reduce your sentence? Ain't nobody gonna kill your dumbass. Nobody cares. Nobody cared when you were on TV every week. Why are they gonna care now that you're sitting in a jail cell? Nobody's gonna Epstein your ass. Sorry, Jussie. They don't care that much. But he keeps saying, I'm not suicidal. I'm not gonna hurt myself. And then he's like, Judge, I respect you and I respect your decision, but I did not do this. And he said, if I did this, I would be putting my fist into the faces of black people, some shit they've been suffering for 400 years. And man, sit your sorry version of an Angela Davis the fuck down. This ain't 1969, okay? You're a rich celebrity. You are making over $100,000 an episode. That's what started this whole thing. You wanted more money. You think if you lived in the time that you want America to be like, that your punk ass would be on TV? No, I don't think so. So enjoy the fruits of those people's labor and stop acting like you're working alongside them. They did the work so you can live in a country like this and make that kind of money without being persecuted, dumbass. For 400 years. And then he walks out with his fist in the air. No, you are not on the podium at the 1968 Olympic Games in Mexico City. You are not. Put your fucking hand down. And when he says that, when he's walking out, some lady yells out, stop doing something. And I kept listening really close, and I turned the volume up, and I couldn't hear what it was. If you know what she said, let me know in the comment section, because I could not hear it. But he walks out with his fist in the air like he's doing something. Do you not know what you just got sentenced for? For lying and being full of shit. And you didn't dispute anything the judge said. All you said was, I didn't do this. Yeah, you said that before, idiot. We didn't believe you then with your crocodile tears and that awkward-ass interview you did with Whoopi's best friend or whoever the fuck that was. Nobody believed you then, and nobody believes your ass now. So what did Chappelle say? Nighty-night? Or it was the Mad Real World skit. Nighty-night, keep your butthole tight. Because you are off to the booty house, sir. And what kind of punishment is that, really? He's a gay dude, and he's going into a building with a bunch of men, and a good percentage of them in traffic in the same activities as him. Huh? That's like telling a straight man, hey, you committed a crime, you misused police resources, you get 150 days at that mammogram center. You got to do mammograms for 150 days. Oh, no, please. Don't make me put women's titties in my hand for 150 days. So, in a nutshell, did he get punished? Not really. I think the restitution he has to pay is really going to hurt him. And the fact that nobody's ever going to hire his dumbass again is going to hurt him. That's worse than the jail sentence. What is that? You think me or you could get away with 150 days if we did that? If we got the FBI involved? Fuck no. Further proves my point, America's not racist. Because if it was, his ass would be hanging outside of the courtroom, not walking out of it. You sons of bitches, the only color that matters is money. If you can afford a law firm with 3 names on the side of the building, you're probably going to go home. And if you do have to do jail time, you get bullshit-ass jail time like this for 150 days. I heard that he's going to do some of it on house arrest. Man, stop telling me this justice system's broke. It's broke if you're broke. But if you got money, shit, this justice system's all right. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please subscribe. Hit that notification bell because every time it rings, a piece of shit lefty cries. Utilize the Linktree link. Get your ass over to JerichoGreen.net. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.